Oops, I don't need to do that. I meant to do your videos over here. Alright, I'm just testing to make sure everything's all set up over here. I really want to make sure that I can hear myself okay since I'm not wearing a headset today. So let's see. Apparently very annoying. Surely I will speak at some point. Guess that'll happen beforehand. Look intense, don't they? Alright, I'm just testing to make sure everything's all set up over here. I really want to make sure that I can hear myself okay since I'm not wearing a headset today. Okay, so sounds like I sound okay, but I do want to get my music going. It's really loud. Just want to be real quiet. Okay, I think I'm ready to go. Alright, so today I am doing some edits on an Isidore site for the AYA, which is, I think, Adolescent and Youth Education, something. It's not even really a course, but it is... Let me get this tweeted out. It is, it is a course. It is an Isidore site that will be visited often by some students in teacher education. So, as always, I've started out with my Isidore site that I'm editing. I start that over in one browser, and then I have it up. The site that I'm kind of referring to as a reference, I have that on my other screen, and it's a little bit awkward today. I have a laptop and my larger monitor. It's not ideal, but it will do the trick. I need to check on my live here, I guess. I'm not very good at this stuff yet. So, this is the site as it currently stands. I started the revision process a long time ago, but I haven't really gotten back to it in a while. So that's kind of the problem. It's going to take me a minute to reorient. And I also know that the professor has made updates in the site that we used last year, so I need to transfer all those updates into the site that I've been modifying. So it's kind of a confusing process. It was totally poor planning on my part, but sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. So maybe the first thing I want to do, because this is the site, I'm going to rename it at a later point in time, but this is the site we're going to be working from for this coming fall. So I think maybe what I'll do is I'll get started with the homepage builder and just kind of bring in most of the content from last year. And I just want to point out that if you are using homepage builder and you've used it in other courses, you should use the import from previous site. That is going to save you some time in terms of entering information. It will not bring over your files like your syllabus or schedule and your picture, but it will just bring over some good information that you don't have to type again. So I'm going to take this off of that title there in revisions. I guess we don't need that. There's not really a section here. I mean, I've been told before that's EDT 481L, But I'm not really sure if that's true, but because that's what we used last year, we'll go with it. I think we're doing August 22nd through the end of the semester, which is December. Oh, you know what? This course goes actually through, possibly through May. So we'll put May 5th in, just to have it. So this is an asynchronous, but we will meet 3 times throughout the semester. Location. I don't actually know about that. I'm actually going to pop in as the instructor. Actually, I wouldn't, it doesn't matter because it's not an official course, so it doesn't have an official location. So we'll just leave that for now. I am not the instructor though. So I'm going to upload a picture of the fabulous instructor Novea. We'll just leave the location there for now. She's going to make a schedule at some point, but we'll put in Dr. Novea Macintosh, and that's 937-229-3306, and it's in Macintosh 1. We could have imported this from her account, but I don't really feel like logging in on her account right now. So emails are preference. Her office is in FH680 AU. By appointment. Next section. So she made a really nice video introduction to the course, so that makes it really nice and easy to bring that over. I'm just pulling that link over. Fabulous. And then getting started. She also did a nice job of putting a lot of content in here. I'm not going to go and edit any of that for now. I think I'll just leave it as is. And now we'll press save. So we've got that set up. So now let me kind of refresh my memory of what we've done in this course. Her course, it's a little tricky because, again, it's not a real course. They don't have real meeting times. It's not even an asynchronous course, really. It's just kind of all made up. So one thing I was doing is I was trying to establish a color coding pattern for the course, just to help students understand what things were going to be completed online by themselves independently and what things were going to be partially in person or partially online. So I'm hoping that that is a methodology that will work. I'm hoping it doesn't confuse people. It's already kind of confusing me. And of course, colors changed in between when I was editing this, so I have to actually go through and make sure that I have all the colors lined up in all of the modules since they have changed, and so I want to make sure I got that right. Colors are challenging. It's worth it, I think. I always think it's worth doing the colors if you do them right. And again, you don't want to ever use too many colors. Like, I am specifically and intentionally choosing different colors. I really recommend only using like one main color throughout your course. Like if you're choosing your section headers, let's just go into this module for example. So all my section headers are this blue. I think it's blue dark is what that color technically is. I don't use any other colors except for red, which is to indicate that it's a partially in-person, partially online activity. I see a lot of times folks just using lots and lots and lots of different colors, and sometimes they just do it for aesthetics, which is nice, but it can be very distracting. But sometimes they do have a methodology for why they're choosing the color, or like not methodology, a strategy for why they're choosing the colors. But unless you explain that to students and constantly remind them about why those colors are the way they are, they're not going to make sense. Like, students aren't going to be, they're just mostly going to be distracted by the colors. So I try to be intentional about it, and I try to make it clear. I'm not going to put it in every single module, but at least in the module 1 and start here. And on the home page, I say what these colors indicate. Now, the one problem, though, is like a lot of times people don't, let me see, if I'm just pretending like I'm going in as a student, lot of times people don't, I think people miss the homepage. It's something I do want to ask students about. I think people miss the homepage because they just go into start here. I think a lot of students don't even know that there's a landing page. And to be fair, like the landing page for most courses is totally useless. But I try to make them in all my courses a very useful and informative page that explains, like, we have these many modules. They're going to open on this date. They're going to open on Mondays, close on Sundays. Due dates are on Thursdays and Sundays at 11:55 p.m. I try to be very clear about everything that's like the most pertinent information for the course. I'm not speaking very well today. It's been a bit of a day because I was hoping to get a lot more work done this weekend, but my phone died big time yesterday, and so I spent all morning at Verizon trying to get myself a new phone, which I now have, but it's been a day. Okay, so I want to just start going through the course, like, page by page. That's really what I'm doing here. This is the kind of stuff we do all the time. Like, if you ask us for a course review, we do kind of go through page by page and make recommendations and review it. And sometimes there's more recommendations than we can even succinctly say. Thankfully, this is a course that's been through the e-learning fellows program, so it was mostly tightened up right from the get-go, but I do want to go through and make some changes. So I know that there's a different instructor for one of these, so I do want to make sure I change that. Whatever she said. She said something had changed. The professor did. Monica Menner is no longer someone. Let's see. I have content that we did not yet add to the updated one. Can you add those? One change, Monica Mitter is no longer the social studies professor. Is now Catherine Weaver. Okay. Catherine Weaver is how I find anything at UC Dayton. Is I Google U Dayton and then the thing I'm looking for. So I found this. Now the trick here with all these pictures is that you'll notice they're all the exact same size, and I believe, if memory serves me, I actually, when I download all these pictures, I resize them manually. So I really don't want to screw up the sizing here. So we're going to see how I have these sized up. And then we'll see if we need to edit the picture itself or if we can just do it in the back end. So 268 by 268. So it's all going to depend on, like, if that picture is a square already. So I am now going to my Snagit editor, and I'm opening up that picture, and it's a square! Yay! Okay, so here, let me show you what I mean. So this picture, it's a 300 by 300 size picture, and that's the number of pixels in the picture. And I'm getting into technicalities here, but a pixel is like, I'm bad at describing this, but the smallest unit of measurement of something on your computer screen or something, or even pictures and stuff. And so if you were to zoom and zoom and zoom here, in fact we probably can, yeah, so all these little things are pixels. Each of these is a pixel. And so that means that there's 300 going across the top and 300 going across the vertical. So horizontal and vertical is 300 by 300, so it's a square. And that means that's going to be easy for me to resize to 268 by 268 with an Isidore without having to resize it in Snagit, which I could do. I could just type in 268 and 268 here and resave it, but because Isidore's going to do that for me, I don't need to do that. So I'm just going to double click on Monica's picture here and upload a new one, and that picture's just in my downloads. I use my downloads folder as like my go-to repository. I know that anything in downloads I don't really need ever, so every now and again I'll just wipe it out and completely remove it. Because everything I'm learning, you know, as I've gone through the ages of using a computer, everything becomes a lot more, I mean, it's not even that it's more cloud-based, it's just like I just don't have any permanence, digital permanence anymore. Like, everything to me that's digital, like, I don't need. Like, it can all just go away. Which I learned yesterday on my phone. Like, my phone stuff just disappeared into the abyss. I'm like, that's fine. Everyone was like, don't you want to make sure you can save your apps? I'm like, I don't really care. Like, honestly, if the app was on my phone and I wasn't using it every day, it's probably best that it's not on my new phone. Like, I don't want to put things I'm not using back on my phone. And if it occurs to me that I'm going to need it, like, if I'm out and about, like, Uber was kind of one. I don't really use Uber that much, but it always does seem like when I do need Uber, I have to go in and install the app. So I did install that one because I'm like, I don't want to be in a bind again where I don't have that available to me. But like, I don't care about the apps. Like, if I'm walking around all of a sudden and I figure I need an Uber, I'll just go and download the new app, you know? Anyway, rant over. Okay, so I'm going to press open and send to server. That's the trickiest button to remember to press. But here's where I'm going to type in those pixel sizes. And I'm going to leave it as a caption picture. I'm going to do, I'm assuming she's a doctor. She's not. Okay, so let's do Professor Catherine Weaver. And I can't remember. Oh, the caption. Okay, so Professor Catherine. Does this picture look that bad? It does. It's not a very good picture. And we'll do, I need to look up her email. Catherine Weaver. kweaver1@udayton.edu. And I'm not going to bother linking the emails. You know, linking emails is just not, like, I just don't ever spend my time doing it. I do it on things that's going to be seen by a lot of people, like in our footer. I'll put it there, or like, I didn't put that there, but we'll link it there. But ultimately, I feel like no one uses these links for, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like no one uses these links for email because it opens up your, whatever you establish as your default email client, and for most people it's not, like, they haven't either configured it, and I think you also can't really set up Gmail to be your default email client. It's been a long time since I've done that, so I don't bother to link emails. Most people will just, like, honestly, if you're on UD's campus, you're just going to type the person's name into the to box anyway. Let's just see if we've got anyone watching. We do not. Popular stuff here on this Sunday. I am curious to see if she has updated the schedule. I really regret, like, date ranges, important for start module, or collaborations. Additionally, this course will evaluate and provide feedback. This preschool school. Okay, so she has not updated the schedule, so we can just leave that as is for now. But now we're going to go into the next module, and I'm going to the next module over in the old site as well. So module 1, licensure requirements. Let me back out here for a second. Exclusively online or navy. Partially in person, partially online or red. 10 class in person. August 27th. Let's see if that's a date. I don't think that's right. Sorry, my phone's going off. It's Sunday. I'm gonna let my phone go off. And then sorry I'm wearing a t-shirt and stuff too. It's Sunday. August 23rd through the 27th. We'll do all the dates later. I'm literally just looking back and forth between these things right now. So, I don't love... It's fine. We'll just leave it as. The thing is, I was thinking is, like, I was wondering if I should put this down on a line right underneath here. But then I remembered that would throw off. It's already going to throw it off if your computer monitor's not wide. I don't like unevenness between my columns. Like, if this, like, I really don't like that this button is now not in line with this button. But there's only so much I can do to control that, so I have to let some things go. I think it's probably not even quite lined up anyway. It's pretty close, but it's definitely not when you're zoomed in, that's for sure. What I'm also going to do here is I like to, it's always a risky thing, because inevitably whoever will go back and edit this will not change the highlighting color. So I'm always, like, really afraid to do this. I'm going to put this back on black, though, just in case she doesn't. But I like to highlight or change the color of stuff that I know needs to be changed before the site goes live. So I don't believe that this date is actually correct. These dates are not correct either. I'll change all the dates once we get the schedule set up. But it's scary to make those highlights because it looks horrible. And if no one goes back and change it, that kind of thing will last in Isidore for the next decade. So, okay, let's move on to Module 1. Licensure requirements overview. We have it set to red. See here, like I explained it, that the stuff that's online is blue, and the stuff that's in red is in person / partially online. So yeah. Okay, so this is fine. We'll leave that as that. She has added I downloaded my field experience folder to engage students. Okay, so that's been moved. I have no clue what to do. That's good. Friday, August 27th. So I'll change that. I think that's fine. The checklist here is fine. I swear we're gonna get into like some... Oh my gosh, yeah, okay. I'm just gonna do my best to make sure I have everything. Part of please explore. Code of conduct in person. I'm hoping I got all this right. During our in-class time, we will present some code. Since we'll peruse the weekly candidate reflection tool. And discuss its value and meaning. Okay. I don't like that green. So I really do not like colors for links that are other than blue, even though I break that rule in my newsletters. Because there's something to having some. Let me double click on the link here. There is something about some branding, but I definitely hate this color. I think from an accessibility standpoint, you should probably have your links all the same color. You also shouldn't. I'm sure there's debate about this, but you really should not use underlining for anything that's not a link. Now it's become such a thing for me. Like, I get so anal over things sometimes. Like, it's so bad. But I see so many underlines in an Isidore, and I just can't help myself. I have to remove them. I feel horrible. But websites say that you should not use links or use underlines for anything but links, and I agree with it, and I'm sticking with it. And if people get mad about it, then so be it. Bolding, fine, go ahead and bold things, but let's not use underline unless it's a link. Okay, so code of conduct, that looks good. I've already been through this, but she said she made some updates recently, so I'm hoping that there's not too many updates. Field experience documents. So, field experience documents, that's here. Is this the same button? Field experience documents. Oh. See, I don't like all the colors here. And I would want to put a heading on this page as well. And I'm immediately taking off these borders. Like, I really want to just change some colors. This is way too much. I want to make some anchor links. So I want these open, and I want to make them anchor links. I want to make them non-collapsible. But that's really not worth my time, probably. Oh my gosh, I really don't like this. I think I'm just going to go to gray. I feel like I have to. This is too much. It's making me... I can't take it right now. I wonder if I can make an anchor link. I don't know if I can, if it's... Let me try this. Let me just try this. Art education resources. And if I were like really doing this site up, I would oh, I forgot to make an anchor link. Deesh. Okay, so art education resources. So an anchor link is something that allows you to jump to a specific spot on a website, kind of like a table, like an online table of contents is the way I think about it. So let me anchor this art, and we'll press save. And if it's gonna look bad, it's been a while since I've done an anchor link, to be honest. Alright, let's now try to take off this border. And if I add a text block above, which means I need to add a section break above this, which is so weird. Alright, education resources. Okay. Yeah, no. Great. So let's make this no title. We're not gonna have a title. I don't like to have a title on like the opening page. The opening of a page at the very hard stop. And so I'm going to just take off the section title. I'm gonna add some text here. Add text, video, or image. Alright. Click on welcome to the field experience documents page. Below you will find resources for each field of study. Click on the links. Click on the links below to jump to the resources for your specialty. That's specialty. Okay. So now we're gonna do bullets, I think. Art, education, resources, I think is what we had that as. Resources. And then, I don't know what else is next, but we're just gonna try this. I don't want to waste my time if it's not gonna be a good thing. So now I think I can link this. Link to anchor and text. No, anchor's available, so it has to be all within the same text block. I literally have never seen this page before. I've literally never looked at this page. What is this? Holy smokes. Okay. Alright, so this is not what we want. It's not worth it. I'm not going to put everything in its own, in this one text block, so we're not going to do this. I'll just leave it as, I still want to have a heading. Expand this section below that matches your speciality. Why can't I not spell that? Speciality. Oh, okay. That's embarrassing, but it's okay. I am not spelling. I am a person looking out for spelling for you, but I'm not spelling. And I'm just realizing I'm doing this in Firefox where I don't actually have Grammarly turned on. So I have Grammarly turned on in Chrome, which is really nice for, you know, a lot of times it doesn't. You still have to be smart. You have to know. You still have to know how to spell things. I like this so much better. Like, it's too much color for me. It's too much color for me. Ooh, I'm now an account manager for my Verizon. I'm on a family plan with my whole family. Still, like, you know, my parents. Should probably get off that. You gotta figure, like, almost everyone my age is probably on their parents' plan still. Maybe not, I guess, because people get married. I just wonder, yeah, right? So not everyone, but anyone who's unmarried, is single, I would guess, is probably, who's my age, are probably on their parents' plan still. I'm not embarrassed about it. It makes sense. I mean, we just went to Verizon and I'm only paying $30 a month for, I mean, that's still a lot, but it could be way worse. Okay, so I like all that way better. This is just way nicer. Like, I like colors, don't get me wrong, but that was just, it was, here's my thing. If it's distracting me, it's distracting someone else. Like, and it's not like I'm a web design expert here or anything, but if it's distracting me, it will distract other people, and especially with the way our colors are. If it's one thing if it's a material design. So if you don't know about material design, it's like Google's design philosophy essentially, and this is like where I've been going for years to pull colors and color combinations. I mean, I pull a lot of different resources, but they have all like, it's just such a nice explanation of all things design, color, layout, navigation, typography. Like, this is such a good website to refer to. There's a lot in it, like, it's a lot to digest, and certainly by no means am I an expert in material design at all. But I do just recognize that, like, especially from an accessibility standpoint, so WebAIM is the place I go to for all of my accessibility guides. Like, we have our own guides that we make. They're good, but, like, this is kind of what I say is, like, the holy grail of web accessibility. I mean, I really get into, like, their blog, too, is very good. I forget where they had, maybe they don't even do the blog anymore, but they got into some real intense things as about, like, especially, alt text. That's right. Let's see if I can find alt text. Jeez Louise. Alright, I'm gonna turn my phone down. This is getting too annoying. My mom keeps texting me. Goodness gracious. Who knew I was so popular? Oh yeah, this is the article. Web accessibility gone wild. Even wilder now. So, I mean, I just love debates like this about what your alt text should be, or just debates in general about web accessibility. I think it's really fun. So, recommend checking that out if you want. But they would tell you things like, be careful with color across the board. Lots of really nice guides in here, so I recommend checking that out. I'm just going to leave this as is for now. I should go in and clean all this up. Ooh, I took off the wrong color there. It's supposed to have those borders. But I'm not, it's not really worth my time probably to go and clean all this up. Like, it's fine. Okay, so let's go back into module 1 and pull up the original module 1. So, because we have the field expectations. We will review the blocking. I should highlight this, honestly, but I'm not going to for now. I don't know if this thing is needed here. I feel like it's going to confuse people to have this here. You know what? Actually, here. Well, here's what I'll do: is I'll put some text about this. One thing I like to do when I'm walking through a website is I'd like to go in as the dumbest person on earth. Because I am, oftentimes, when I'm looking at your course. I'm not in your course, I'm not listening to you, I don't have time, usually, to read every morsel of your syllabus. Student me did. Student me, like, had a syllabus memorized. I was that student who would say, like, oh, but in your syllabus it says. I was a terrible person. So if I'm confused by what's happening in the course, your students are too. That's my point. Because I'm not in reality the dumbest person in the world, but I'm really good at pretending like, or feeling like I'm the dumbest person in the world. In actuality, I'm kind of smart for things like this, because I can immediately point out, like, that doesn't make sense, this doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense, and then I can help. Usually, like, I'd like to try and, like, Sherlock Holmes my way out of it and figure it out for myself from your syllabus, from clues I see in your announcements or in your assignments or in the third nested description of your form or something, but sometimes I can't. And so oftentimes I do my best to guess what it is, and I'll type it in Isidore, and then I'll ask the instructor to say, like, is this what you were going for? Because that's what I was guessing, but if not, edit it for yourself. But I think that helps a lot for instructors, because I think a lot of times people don't realize, well, I mean, a lot of times they're covering it in class, but we have to remember, especially post-COVID, students may be out, not post-COVID, but students may be out, and, what else? Oh, but then also students just don't remember everything. They're bad, bad note takers, bad rememberers. That includes me. I was always a very online student, like, even before online was really that much of a thing. That's why I gravitated to it so much, especially in my job, because I can't hear. Like, you should ask my boyfriend. I literally cannot hear him most of the time. I can't hear movies. I can't hear music. That's why I listen to so much Korean music, because I can't understand the words in the English songs anyway. So why does it matter to me what language it's in? I need subtitles throughout every single part of my life. Every single part of my life. So that's why I like to have it online as well, because that way I can read it online, and then I can, like, it can make sense in my brain. Yeah, I am dumb. I should be saying these things, but it's all true. Okay, so this is the documents. The subpage below includes the same documents same resources you accessed in an earlier task. I just added it here again so you can access it. We can load files quickly for our in-person discussion. We'll do that. Okay. Ooh, I have someone watching. Hi! Who's watching? Oh my goodness. So now I'm going to, I've never seen someone watching before, so that's interesting. So again, this is actually a shared page is what this is. So this page is the same as the page up here, even though it's a different color. To make a page shared, I think you actually have to go, it's been a minute since I've done it, you have to go into the page itself maybe and share it, but usually it's when you're creating the subpage itself you can share it. I think you might have to just recreate the page to share a page, but so it's the same page, and if I wanted to share a page again like this, like as a reference document, so like you don't want to make multiple copies of the same content on a page. You want to reference one source so that you don't have to change it in one place. So if I wanted to create another copy of this page in another shared page, I would click on this plus icon and do add subpage, and here's where I would say choose existing page. This link really blends in a lot, but you can say choose existing page, and then it pulls up all the pages that you have in your course, and you can just pick one of the pages from here. So here you can even see that it says shared page. So that means that if I change something on essentially this link, it will also get changed on the page in this link, because it really is just the same exact page, just located in different spots. Okay, so I think I've got that field expectations done. And then we're going to go into parent permission form. I think that's fine, but I'm referring back to the course from last year to make sure that nothing else has changed. So it looks good. We can now go on to module 2. Oop, I guess the person left. That's fine. So we'll go into course modules here. And here we have, it's a mostly online module, I can tell because of the blue. I did make an accessible version of this cartoon because it was going to be way too long to type in the alt text, and I thought it was kind of a funny cartoon, I think, if memory serves me, when I did this. So I think they upload, yeah. So again, if you go back to the whole WebAIM accessibility, they have a whole guide on how to make every image in your course accessible. It takes time. It took me a minute to, figure out how to make this cartoon accessible and write the actual cartoon language out, and just, I even wrote they're standing on a sidewalk and what Calvin's doing. I think I have a future career in making things accessible. I don't know if you've seen Stranger Things, but it got kind of highlighted because of the annotations, like when they're monster arms, it says squelches disturbingly and stuff like that in the subtitles, and that's exactly the kind of stuff I do. I've been doing that. I have a job. I have a future in accessibility stuff. Okay, this module is entirely different than what it was last year, so I'm hoping that that's okay. Okay, so like I said, I've already done a lot of updates. This looks good. This is instructions on how to use Perusal. So these are links to documents that are in perusal. Let me just make sure they're set up and working correctly. I think they are. Because this is the current course we're in, so I think that's good. We'll need to set up perusal at some point, but we're not going to do that right now. But the links are there. I am okay with this, but this is just some helpful information that I'd written up. Human trafficking, again, I'm just comparing to what Professor McIntosh had added. She had a document with additional resources, that's right. So she had a web link that was all these. It's another thing to me, it's if you're whoever you're linking out to is something that can just as easily be put into Isidore, for the most part, put it in Isidore. So this is the file that was linked. Like this, these are just links and text, and honestly, like, awkward, and students might run into the same issue I just ran into. They might be accessing Isidore from a browser where they're not logged into their university Dayton email account. So why not just, especially since they're just like, it's a very minimal amount of information. It didn't take me very long to move this over into Isidore, so I just did. So I copied all that stuff into here, and I added a little bit more context too, which I think will be helpful. Okay, so legal issues, bullet points assignments, and exploited resources, assessment. Okay, that's good. Let's go. Anyone who ever does watch this will now understand why it's so funny. I mean, obviously I do these things faster when I'm not thinking through what to speak about, but I keep telling myself if even one person learns one thing, then that's good. I mean, this is not the most exciting one because I'm not really doing as much formatting yet. I will be in a minute, but I just need to get through like page by page here. Okay, so I have the perusal instructions again. Don't like this. Hate column borders. Hate them. It was a specific request I made 2 months ago. Because I asked for those borders to be removed when we first upgraded to this, or to the last version of Isidore, and there was some debate about whether or not it was worth it. It is so worth it. I'm so glad the borders are removed because it just drives me crazy. Nice video here, 5.5 minutes. We annotate technology used in the classroom. Okay, I've done all this. So this is a little bit different of a video than my other editing videos because this will be, I'll be doing more thinking as I'm rewriting some of them because a lot of this comes down to I need to actually like rewrite content because we just need to get more information here. Social media etiquette. I'm pretty sure I don't have, I'm just looking back at the original site. There's not really anything in here. Now answer the question. Okay. This is all good. Okay. Okay. Another accessible version here. Oh my god, I can't believe I made this. But I did. I did make this. You know what? I'm nothing if not dedicated to the cause of accessibility. No one can deny. No one can deny. So now on to Module 4. I suspect Module 4 might be kind of where I left off last time. It takes a long time to do this. Like, I am actually kind of like writing some content here, so it takes a long, long time to do this. It's one thing to update dates. It's one thing to make things prettier. Like, that stuff I can kind of do in my sleep, and I have done in my sleep. But this stuff is, takes, oh my god. Did I? Okay, I think this is a YouTube link. I did not make this video explanation. Within this portal is a module called Inspire. Okay, that looks good. Now, here's one thing that I often don't like is having a lot of white space. Like, this is very awkward, I think. I think it looks bad. But sometimes you really can't avoid it. Like, it's not worth it for me to make a whole new section here that has this. Oh, maybe it would be. I don't know. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I actually do kind of want to move it down. It is worth it for me. Okay, so read and annotate. In this module, you will need to sign up for a platform Inspire. This module provides free on-demand resources. Let's watch.
Through management, an integral part of your field experience and your student teaching experience in the spring.
Okay. I think I will move this down. So, how do I create a section here? It's confusing. Like, what do I do? How do I make a section? Isidore formatting. So now we're doing some Isidore formatting for real. The rest of it was less that. So I need to create a new section, and to do that, I go to the bottom right corner of the place that's right above where I want to add my new section. So this is right above where I want to add my new section. So I'll click on this plus icon and do add section break. And I'm going to say watch, inspire, orientation, review or something. So one thing that bothers me is inconsistency in section headers. So this looks different than this section. They are both a section. There's really not that much that's different about them, except for this one's blue and expandable and classable, and it has a title. So how do you do all that? Click on the gear icon from this section, and I like consistency in my naming convention. So it looks like I'm doing a lot of verbs in my task names. I think I almost always do that. So I'll say watch, inspire, platform, orientation video. We'll make it collapsible, we'll make it start close, and we're going to take off the columns borders, and we're going to do blue dark. That's the color that it is. Now I want to grab all this content and move it down here. So to do that, I will click on this pencil icon and expand this text block so I can get a little bit more of a view of it. And then I'll click on source. And this is more advanced for anybody watching. This is way more advanced, but it's hard. Like, just to copy from here will not bring over everything you want. Just to try to, like, I can almost guarantee it, if you try to copy it like this, it will not work. So I'm going to go up to source here, and I will find it within all of this. So I'm kind of just looking for exactly this. I was looking for classroom management overview because I knew this is the text of that heading. So I'm going to start here. This is the start of that heading. This is the code that's styling the heading, and it's also adding a header tag for accessibility reasons. And now I just want to like scroll down. I want to grab all this embed stuff for the video. So where it says embed here, that tells me that that's the video that we've got there. And then I want to go up until the next heading. So voices from the field, I know is the next heading. HR. I don't know what the HR thing is here. Try to find the other side of it. I don't need both. I think it's a line. So I'm gonna do Control X. That cut it. I'm gonna toggle off source. Okay, so I have 2 lines. I don't want 2 lines. They're very hard to see, but there are actually 2 lines here. And now there's still 2 lines, so I want to go into the source. Sometimes deleting lines is kind of challenging. So we'll take that out. That's much better. Okay, so I always get kind of like a weird feeling when I've cut something, especially when I've cut something, but even if I copied something, does anyone else ever get this? Like, I feel like, like kind of like on edge until I've pasted it somewhere. Like I'm carrying it, and I need to drop it off someplace. So that's how I'm feeling right now. So I want to make sure I go and drop it off someplace. So I'm going to click on this plus icon to add text video or image. And again, I'm going to go to the source. Again, this brings up the code. And I'll press Control V to add all that content. And it came in formatted exactly how I cut it out of there, because that's why I went to the code. So we can copy all the formatting, so I don't have to reformat it. So, yay! And now I have Watch, Inspire, Platform Orientation video, and I do want to make sure I update my checklist to add that as a new checklist item, because I really like my checklist items to correspond sequentially. Like, so if I have a checklist item here, I want there to be task here. Down, down, down. I don't want like one task to be up here and my checklist item to be down here. I like them to be in the exact same order. they don't have to have the same wording on the tasks. Like my section header, the dark blue section header that's collapsible, that doesn't have to have the same text as in the checklist. I try to like keep the checklist text pretty minimal. But I do want it to be like very clearly connected to each other. So I'm going to call this watch, inspire. I mean, it's basically the same thing. I think I took out one word. And I want to move this up, and I'll press save. Okay, so that's done. Woo! Making progress. And we will... I feel like I do need to turn up some music. Okay, so we have that done. Read and annotate classroom management article. So you might have remembered in modules 2 and 1, I put in a substantial amount of instructions for how to use Perusal. I am not doing that in module 4. I don't like to copy instructions so many times. Maybe it would be worth copying the instructions here because this is not a real course. It's like, it goes over an entire year, so it might be months in between students are using Perusal, so it may be worth adding those instructions. But I'm not going to here for now. Maybe that's something that I could ask Dr. McIntosh to tell me next year. Like, did students need more help with Perusal? Again, it's always about reiterating on your course and improving each time around. So that's the kind of thing, like, and also, if I'm teaching a course, I would keep notes of like this and be like, I wonder how the students thought, what they thought about this. I wonder if it worked out for them. I'm keeping track of students' questions so that next time around I can improve those things and make it better for next go around. So, like, ideally, by the time you've taught the course 3 times, like, all student questions about tech stuff are gone. Questions about content only. That's the goal. It doesn't usually work. Okay. Refer back to the instructional website or video that guides you through. Glad I linked this correctly. I did. My learning portal. How this link works. Register and create your free profile. Stanford Inspire section. Okay. I think that's good. I think I did a lot of this work. So here's another thing. So I'm going to start opening up a new text file. So I use an editor called Notepad++ as my text editor. Not Word document, but just like I keep this open for notes and for copy and pasting code a lot of the time too. Like, let's see, this is probably not code. Oh, it is code. Like, if I know that there's a specific piece of code that I'm going to be using over and over and over while I'm doing a course, I'll open up like 4 different documents here, or I'll just like add some spaces in between, and that way it's easy reference. And you'll also see that I take notes on different like discussions I have. So anytime I'm meeting with an instructor and we're talking about what's going to happen with the course, I'm trying to take pretty detailed notes because a lot of times it's not something that I'm going to remember unless I'm doing it immediately after a discussion ends. So I'm trying to take pretty good notes. It doesn't work always. I have like a million documents open for Novea at any given time. But I'm going to put this as July 2022, and I want to make a note of Module 4, Canva. I think I did this because I think that was not approved. Like, I suggested that, but I wasn't sure if that was a real thing that she was okay with, but am I wrong? I don't remember why I highlighted this. I don't remember. I wish I did remember, but I do not. So let's now go into, because I just want to make sure, oh god, I hate that habit, that's so bad. Canva? I'm just going to put that as a question mark here. Modules, main page, attend class in person on August 27th. Like, if we're going to do that, we should do that throughout all the times we're going to be attending class in person also. She and I might need to go through each module as well and make sure that the things I've added are okay. But now we're into module 5. The other thing too is, like, I think there was some, it's occurring to me that there's actually 3 sites. She may have added content to the other site. Like, I'm kind of going to need her to go through and make sure that I'm doing what she wants here. Turn down a little bit. Okay. I made these videos about how to use the. Now, I hope this stuff hasn't changed. I thought we made those like last year sometime. It looks the same, I think. I hope those videos are basically the same because I don't want to remake them. That is the problem when you make videos and screenshots, is that everything changes, you know, before they've even got their use case out of them. So I think that's good. Has standard certificate. I need to go back and forth between these. Okay, so we are making good progress, though. I'm so happy. Like, I did a lot of stuff here, apparently, so that is fantastic. I really was worried about how much work I'd have to do here, but it looks like we're in pretty good shape. Module 6, intercultural. There was a poll question that had been asked in the old one that I moved down here, so hopefully that's good. Ah, I can tell this is exactly where I left off because I was getting rid of borders. Yay! Okay, so I know where I'm at. That seems fine. Intercultural effectiveness scale. I thought I'd made an accessible version of this, but maybe it's accessible within the alt text. That actually seems like something I probably did. Okay. It's not the most accessible thing there. I know why. It's because I think there's another document that explains it, so I decided to just leave it for there. See EDT 222. You will focus on the following days. Passenger guide, you will further explore. Okay. That's good. Review, watch the IES overview. Ooh, this was an interactive video. So let's see what that is. So an interactive video is a nice tool that we have. Ah! Let me get that set up. Okay, so let us get that set up. A cultural competence video. So I don't know if I did that or she did. So I need to log in. I'm going to log in as her and see if we can find it. Otherwise, I have to remake all the questions, which is not what I want to have to do. So I'm going to go Macintosh 1 and Macintosh 1. Am I not spelling something correctly here? Why am I not spelling anything right today? What is going on? Okay, so interactive video, they have to be re-imported. So I'm going to go into, I have to add her to the course. They have to be re-imported and they're attached to the user level. They're not attached to the the site. So even though I copied the site, if I didn't make that interactive video and Nevaeh did, then I have to log in as her to access the questions. It's debatable as to whether or not it'd be faster for me to just rebuild the questions. There's only 3 questions in that interactive video versus me logging in as her, but I think it's probably worth it for me to just pop in as her and see if I can find it. So I'm just refreshing. Oops. Refresh, and let's see if I can find this new course that I just added her to. So we'll call it AYA. It's not showing up yet, I don't think. Because this one's called Revision Slam. So let me refresh again and see if it's popping up. But interactive video lets you ask questions throughout the video. I have yet to see that really take off in any other learning management system, so that's really cool. AYA. Okay, so I'm going to go in Firefox since that's the browser I did it in. Hopefully I can spell it right this time. So now can I actually get to it? What is this course? Why am I doing things badly today? Oh my gosh. Wrong thing. AYA seminar revision. So I'm going to copy that site ID, if that's what you're wondering I was doing. I was getting the site ID because for some reason I'm not seeing it show up for her, even though I added her to it. I wonder if it didn't take. And now I'm doing a slash in the portal, and I'm pasting in the site ID, and if she has access to it, it will load. What the heck? I added her to it in this browser. Okay, so at this point, it's faster for me to just recreate it, and that's fine. I need her video, because I have to be in her account for it. So let me go back into Ohio. I think we're in intercultural competence, that's where we were. EDT, post plan. Online intercultural competence interactive video. So I need to get the link to the video, which should be in the old version of this course. So it should be here. Yes, here's the link. That's what I wanted. Okay, copy link address. So I should just be able to put that in here. Let's call it IES. This title doesn't really show up anywhere, so I'm just going to leave it as that. I mean, it could be that it's somewhere in my old courses, but I'm just going to recreate it, so that's going to be faster. So I'm going to bring her one over to my left-hand screen so I can refer back to it. Well, it looks like we did add a lot of questions, or a few more questions too, so that's really cool. So here's a video, and basically we want to pop up questions throughout the video and have students respond to them. So I'm going to click on add question, and again, I'm just pulling this over from what we've already done. I'm going to click on edit question, and I've got the timestamps all set up, so that's fantastic. So I'm just going to do 41. Oh, I'm really not attracting too many people here, am I? That's okay. Okay, learning apps, 41 multiple choice, true or false. Gaining knowledge will decrease a person's prejudice. That is apparently false. So we will choose that answer, and then here we have feedback. That's really nice that we have feedback here. Add, save, add question. So now we'll close this one, and this is going to be at 52 seconds. So the idea is that we're asking a question about the content that they've just watched to reinforce their learning and make sure that they were actually paying attention to the video. And Nevaeh and I think, wrote these questions together a while back. And this will all be easier for her when she duplicates in the future. It's just because we're doing this merging of three different sites all together. Again, this was bad structuring on my part, but it's okay. I'm okay to pay for my mistakes sometimes. multiple choice survey question. I like it. I built this recently because we didn't have that feature not too long ago. So that is awesome. So this is basically a poll question, essentially. Get their opinions on something. How connected is your understanding of your identity to your ability to increase your intercultural competence? It's somewhat connected. I think the more connected or the more understanding you have of your identity, probably the more ability you have to increase your intercultural competence. That'd be my guess. I could be wrong. Okay, so we have one question, 2 questions left. 1 minute 36. Multiple choice. What is one personality characteristic necessary for increasing intercultural competence? Be interesting if I had people watching to hear what they would think. But the answers are curiosity, empathy, kindness. I probably would have said, just on the surface, I probably would have said empathy, but the answer is curiosity. And the reason why is because curiosity is essential for increasing intercultural competence. So, that's interesting. And I'm going to cancel out of this. Why is intercultural effectiveness important? This is a short answer question, which again is another new type. I love it. I wish more people were using it. I probably need to do a better job of advertising it. But it's a really nice feature. Okay, so we have our interactive video all set up and ready to go. Yay, that's done. Okay, so submit IES plan to Chalkwire and Isidore. I heard that Chalkwire is now called Anthology. Just learned that the other day, so we do need to make sure that we're editing these to say Anthology. Anthology, formerly known as Chalkwire. I really could type today. Attending class and bring a laptop. I'm going to try first. Okay, save. Learning objectives, after completing this module, blah blah blah. Watch introduction to IES online. Okay, so this is the main thing that I harp on in every single one of these videos, is I hate the interior borders. I don't like when the border doesn't line up with the section. I don't. I like it here. I like this. I like how it's encapsulated. This whole section is. This really bothers me. So I'm going to click on the section setting here. I'm going to take off this columns border. So that's like for the whole, that's for like this one column. So this is, it's hard to explain. Top border. This border is good. This border down here is bad. I think you would, I have yet to really use this one in any good, I've yet to come up with a reason for using it. I hate it. And we're going to change it to blue dark because that's the theme we're going with throughout this course. Originally it was this navy color, but then at some point it got changed, and that's fine. And I like that I've been consistent with my titling here, that these are all online activities. It's blue up here. This is a wholly blue module. Blue meaning that it's an online module. Take off those borders, or put on those borders, take off those borders, and change to blue dark. IES post test and plan complete. Oh, so here we need to do the Chalkwire thing. Okay, IES survey, pre-survey in Anthology, aka Chalkwire. Lots of parentheses in that, but that's okay. Review, watch IES overview. Review IES pre-test data. Complete IES post-test. I don't know that this is like I don't know if they're supposed to fill out the pre-test plan. think I watched this video and figured it out, but it's been a while. Since I've already revised parts of this, I can tell I'm guessing that these instructions are fine. So I'm just changing here from anthology, formerly known as chocolate wire. Name changes are really frustrating. Isidore's been Isidore since 2008, I'm just saying. We've been Isidore for a little bit. Changed the colors a couple times, but we've been Isidore for a long time. So you don't have to change your syllabus, like, ever. Change out the Lotus Notes, though. I came across a syllabus that had logging into Lotus Notes and updating your address and address.udayton.edu, and that's been gone for 7 or 8 years. It's insane. So I'm just basically right here, I'm making sure that my checklist aligns with my tasks. So I don't actually know. I won't know without talking to Nevaeh about this. So I just made my best guess here, I guess. Complete IOS post-testing plan. Press button to start from scratch with the template, then complete the feedback form. Finally, submit both to Chopwire and Isidore. I mean, I know I'm going over the top of this, formerly known as Chopwire. How to submit post-testing to... So I can actually edit the title, the display text of a link without having to change the link itself. That's really nice. To Anthology. I really hope it's actually called Anthology. Because that's going to be annoying. So one thing you might have noticed there in that section is that it said submit to the assignment link below. So I think this is also a feature many people don't know about, is how to link to assignments within the lessons tool. So the way I think about lessons is my driver throughout my entire course. It drives all of my content. Like, I don't do this, but I would love to be able to hide every single tool except for lessons. Don't do it. You shouldn't do that. But that's the way my brain thinks when I'm approaching a course. Is like, I want everything. I want all my instructions to be in lessons. I want all my files that students need to be in lessons. I want all my links to my tests and my quizzes and my assignments and my forums. I want those all to come out of lessons. You can't hide these tools for certain reasons. I mean, you technically can, but you shouldn't, just because the interfaces there are more advanced than the interface you can get through accessing it through lessons. Like, feedback is better to see through going like directly through the tool. And then there's some tools like Zoom meetings that I wouldn't hide because that actually like authenticates students as they click into it. Same thing for WarpWire to a certain extent. One thing I will say though is I see a lot of people putting the links to their Zoom meetings in lessons, and that's following the philosophy that I'm telling you right now, and it seems like it's working. It seems like the Zoom links do work out of lessons, but we ran into so many problems with that at the beginning of the pandemic with authentication. I think Zoom made some changes that made it better. I always tell people, like, don't make extra work for yourself and copy the link into lessons. I say just tell students to go to the Zoom tool. So I'm telling you two exact opposite things. Everything should stay in lessons versus, except for Zoom. For Zoom, send them to Zoom. Like, don't put the link to the Zoom in your lessons tool. Keep that in Zoom. That will be much better for everyone involved. That means that the next time around you don't have to update that link. Just tell them to go to Zoom. My goal for any Isidore site redesign is to take out anything that's major that needs to be changed every semester, because that's the kind of thing that's going to break. Because you just can't keep track of it all. So take out those links that are going to break, because that will break the next time around. I keep my dates kind of centralized in one spot. If I have important dates going on this site, which I do, I'm not putting my dates down in here. This is the only place where I'm like having to manually type in dates, and that just means next time I duplicate the site, I just need to go through each module, quickly change those dates, and I'm done. And all the assistant dates, like on my assignment, like that, I can use the date manager and the shifting feature within site info. There's a date manager and shifting feature to adjust those dates automatically, essentially. So I've actually physically typed in those dates. I try to minimize those and keep them all in one spot so that I don't lose track of them. So I think this is good. I just want to make sure that I have copied over the TPA, which one's 6 here. I just want to make sure everything that's covered in the original course we have covered here. We made this a required item. we're gonna take that off. I think that just is making it, it's just like not worth it. If you're gonna, I like to require some things like an actual assignment. I don't want to require something that's kind of just this like optional engaging activity. The other thing too is I'm saying that there's another border here. So to get rid of that, I'll click on the gear setting and I'll say, don't show this column's borders. Okay, so this one I think is done. Here's the hard part. We've been doing real good. We've been rocking and rolling through modules 1 through 6, and now we're here. It looks so bad. I mean, it's fine because it's my original design. But no. So here's where it's gonna get harder, easier from a formatting perspective because I know exactly where I want to move all that stuff and change, but harder in terms of me having to like rethink the instructions for assignments. Here's where it's gonna get hard. First thing first, though, tackle the easy thing, which is the formatting. So I'm going to pull up now in my, looking at my Isidore on my laptop here, I want to pull up the current site we're working on. So I'm going to pop into that, so that way I can see exactly what I did the previous module and implement the exact same design. So AYA, seminar revision to the end, and let's go to, I'll go to module 6, because again, I want to look, like, here's what we did in module 6. I want the updates that I'm doing here to look exactly like this. I don't want to, I think I showed you, or people are seeing that, there's also this site where I've changed it slightly since then, so I don't want that. I don't want the formatting in this site. I want this site specifically, the format here, with the blue, and the tasks being written that very specific way. So, starting off, I need to make this a dark blue. I need to take off the horrible gray border. I'm going to change these colors. I think that's all fine. Oh, God. So, okay, column settings. So, Ed TPA and Ed AY Seminar Overview. Ed TPA and AYA students. AYA students. Okay, I'm going to go back and check what the actual title of this module is that we have on it out. Ooh, that's interesting. Oh. It looks like we made this partially. Oh, attend in class here and bring a laptop. Okay. I'm just questioning something. Because I made this red to indicate that it's something we're going to be doing in person, partially in person some of this is, but it looked like all the tasks were blue, which is the way we decided to color code anything that was happening online asynchronous. So that's fine. That's okay. That I think it's just a visual cue that they're supposed to attend class, but we'll keep the task blue because I think everything else was happening asynchronous online, so that's fine. Okay, so edit PTA and AY seminar overview, and we're gonna not do these borders. We're gonna do these borders. That's getting rid of that horrible gray border and adding the nice red border. I think we don't need. I think we should change this to blue because I think there's not that much happening that's in person together. Double width. That's a good thing to know. I haven't really talked about that much. That is essentially saying that this column here is wider than this column over here. So this column is a little bit narrower. I always do that for my overviews. I always make my checklist column narrower. I think it just looks nicer. It looks more like standard webpage design. So that's good. I'm leaving us that, and I'm going to leave us this. And now we're going to change all the formatting here. So, if you watch any of my other videos, you know that I hate inconsistent fonts. This is not Isidore font. And I don't like when it's inconsistent fonts because I'm a crazy person. I don't like these colors here. So I'm opening up here just to see what heading I made this. I made this heading 3. We're going to make this over here heading 3. We're also going to change the colors. I'm going to click select here. Okay, I should probably just get this color exactly right. So I'm actually going to look at the code. I think it's this color, but I'm not sure. But we're definitely going to check. 231, 211. Okay, so it's actually 211, 84, 0. So RGB here, this is the red, green, blue combo of what the colors are. So 211 of red, 84 of green, 0 of blue. Those 3 colors, 211 of red and that much of blue, creates this color. Okay, so this is heading 3, so that's good. So can I just get it from here? It seems too bright, but it's definitely too bright. Oh, did I really not choose like a real color? 211. There's no way I didn't. I do not use non-standard colors for the most part. It has to be a color that's within that little box, but I don't know which one it is, so I'm just gonna do that. Oh, but there's these too. Shoot. Welcome to module 6. 051. There's no way okay, first things first, I want to remove all this formatting. It's just driving me crazy. I hate this screen. So I'm going to press on print screen to take a lovely little Snagit screenshot. Snagit is my lifesaver. If I'm ever changing anything that I think is going to be destructive, by destructive I mean I can't recover it easily, I take a screenshot. And you have to, even if I have to type out this whole paragraph again, at least I have it. I haven't lost it. And I'm not really that worried about this anyways, because I know I've copied this site like 4 times, so I know it exists in Isidore somewhere else, but it's just easier for me to just take a quick screenshot and refer back to it. Right now I'm basically trying to remember that I want to do something with this that's not green highlighting. And yeah, so, but first things first, I want to remove this formatting. What? Why did you change colors? This changed colors. No. That's ridiculous. Alright, actually, you know what? We're going to remove formatting on the whole thing. It's not going to include that. To remove formatting, nice little tricky button here is just click on this. Boom! Formatting done. I love it. I love it. I don't think I'm going to be able to remove formatting on this. Okay. Why did that change back to orange? We're gonna be just bad here, and we're just gonna pick this blue. I'm not going back. I feel like I must have. Did I do nonsense? Might be that these colors have changed, to be honest. And it kept it. Okay, so now I'm gonna refer back to my, because I've already forgotten what I needed to change. That's why I took a screenshot. Blue. Okay, so now I'm gonna read this sentence. The assessment features a common architecture focused on 3 tasks: planning, instruction, and assessment. I don't think that is necessary. I'm sorry that's why I'm being quiet right now, because I'm actually trying to think about how I want to format this. Since it seems like it's an important thing that she wants to have stand out, I'm going to use a template. So templates are these nice little things that just add a bit of visual color, and again, you don't want to go too crazy with them. You want to use them very sparingly, but it's it just gives you a nice starting point. So I'm going to choose this one. It's kind of like my go-to lately. I don't know why. I'm going to Control X to cut, and then I'm going to do Control Shift V. Control Shift V keeps your formatting, and I want to keep the formatting here. I don't really want this. I want to change these templates because I'm just not totally in love with them anymore, or the way they look right now. I want to change this to blue. Let's see what darker does. It's so much fun to go into the source, and this is a new thing we have in Isidore. Like, it used to be all just the hex codes, and so just looking at, I have no idea what color that is just by looking at the code, but here I can tell something about the color, so I can just type in things. I definitely don't want... I don't want it to be this far indented to the left. The margin left, so if you think about margins, like in a Word doc, you can adjust your margins. So this is essentially the same thing. I'm just saying that I want the margin to not be 35 pixels over. I want it to be, let's say 10. We'll see what that looks like. Lovely thing about source is I can like toggle back and forth. So I'm gonna toggle source off. Oh, that is bad. It was because of that star. I want that star to be smaller. Where's that star at? I don't know why I can't see it here. Oh, here. Okay, here's the star. The font size. So let's just take this down to like 16. See what that looks like. Okay, so now I like that much better. I'm just gonna do a couple of spaces here. I just think the star is too big in this one. This is pretty nice, but I'm worried it's gonna blend in with all the other sections. Like students are gonna think this is a clickable section. So I'm thinking I don't want to do blue darker. Let's do. Should we see what purple is? Ooh, ooh. I don't hate it. Let's do what's it 2. Darker 2 is. Yeah, I hate that. Let's do it like 7. Oh! Isn't this fun? Like, you can just grab... Let's do lighter. Let's do lighter. Okay, so I would normally never pick this color, but it kind of works with... I'm not a design person, but I think this color kind of works with the rest of the course. It stands out and not being like too blue with the rest of the blues. I don't want students thinking it's a section header that they can expand and collapse, which is what it looked like before. So I'm going to leave it as that for now, and if it looks bad in practice, like when we actually see the page, then we'll fix it. Okay, this is way too big. This is enormous, is way too big. I felt like I've already... This research, what is this? Helpful hint, you could always make this box bigger. This resource is provided for support purposes only. This is no requirement that be used as a template. I don't think those words make sense together. I don't know. This is not alt text either. So let me move this. I'll make it smaller. So student learning. I have made this picture differently before someplace, and I don't know where. But I really like accessibilize this picture somewhere. I'm never gonna find it. Student learning diagram, including the three. It's three. Not strongholds. It's a good word. 3 tenets. I'm just gonna do that. Anchors. Anchors. Oh, including the 3 anchors that are. This is not a good sentence. Assessment, instruction. Like, I swear to God, I typed this out someplace, but I don't know where. And I'm going to save it. And we're gonna go ahead and put this down at like 300. We'll see what that does. And we're centering it. Oh, too small. Okay. I actually cannot stand this. So I want to go back, and I think I might have done a destructive change on that. Like, I might not be able to make that nice again. So I'm going to cancel the changes we just made. I know, crazy. But I want to bring that back to... I think maybe I can do this like if I do 1,000 again. Okay, that's okay. So we don't have to copy that. I really don't want this to look like a PowerPoint slide that's clickable. It's not clickable. So we're going to do print screen. And we're going to make a new image here, essentially. And this picture isn't accessible for me. I can't read upside down. But I like pictures that, like, if there's a white background, sometimes I'll put a border around it, but this is kind of like just nice as is. So I'm just going to, like, save it. And we're going to just upload it without. We'll just call this effective I'm trying to think. Oh, we'll put caption on it. Effective teaching cycle. Okay. So we're going to center. Centering your images if you can. For the most part, I'm saying these are not hard and fast rules by any means. Okay, so then I'm going to click on picture here, upload, browse. This is the picture we just did. You'll notice I don't name my photos. Like, I'm just doing, I'm working fast. I don't have time to name photos that students are not going to be downloading. I will take the time to, yeah, I didn't there, but I will oftentimes take the time to download or put in the right titles of my PDFs because students are going to be opening that and downloading them, and I want them to have the right names when students download them to the computer. I'm very particular about these things, but no one's ever going to download this picture. Probably. Send to the server, and we're going to resize this down to be like 500 or so, and effective teaching cycle diagram. I'm going to center it, we're going to caption it, and we're going to press OK. That looks pretty good. Okay, you know what? I actually don't want to caption here because that looks ridiculous. We're going to put the caption kind of up at the top. It's not actually the caption of the photo. Effective teaching cycle. So when I actually put the caption on the picture, I believe it's actually like part of the HTML of the picture at that point. I don't know what I'm saying. This is just a thing that's above the picture, so it's kind of silly. I'm going to make this sized 16 diagram. Now, if I wanted to make this accessible, I would have to like rewrite this whole thing. I'm not going to do that right now. The other thing about accessibility is, while I'm a big proponent of it, you don't have to make things super accessible until a student says they have an accommodation that needs to be 100% accessible or whatever. So I try to do it just by default. I just try to keep that in mind all the time. But really the most important thing is that your videos have captions, which we do for you if you upload them to WorkWire. Your Zoom videos have captions also. But I think the best thing that someone can do in terms of accessibility is just keep in mind, the best thing you can do at all in any web design, including Isidore, is think about walking through it as a student, like a student who doesn't know anything. And that will help you so much. Just keep that in mind. Like, am I writing something that people can understand without me explaining it to them? If they're not going to be able to understand it without you explaining to them, then you should probably add some more context or some descriptive text to just help someone understand what they're supposed to be doing with the file that you're uploading or the activity that they're doing. Because your students might not be there to hear your instructions. And in an online class, which this is, we need to make sure that we're very clear. Now, because I've been sitting here for a while, I don't want to lose my content, so I'm actually going to go to source and Control A to select everything and Control C to copy it, just in case for whatever reason. I also have a bunch of things open, just in case when I press save, it doesn't actually save because I've got things open in lots of different browsers. But it saves, so we're good. You know, I'm digging this purple here. I think that works. Alright, so let me pull up Isidore. Which Isidore is it? Oh, that's why. So I had Isidore, I have a text editor open in another browser tab. So I'm a little bit afraid that I was going to lose content. You should not have multiple text editors open at any given time. Okay, so this has a blue dark checklist. Ugh, I don't like this. That might be at the column level, actually. Blue dark, it is. So we're gonna take off this BG success thing. That's it's making the font green on there. It used to be that would make the whole checklist look green, and the CSS, basically the code that determines the colors of things, change, and so that doesn't work anymore. It just has the font turn green, and that is ugly. So, especially in blue. So I just took it off, and we're gonna do this as blue dark, and we're gonna take off these borders, and we're gonna save. Now our checklist should be blue and dark, and it's not. This keeps happening to me. Blue dark, and okay. What I'm trying to show here is. This is blue dark. So what is it here that's making it that? Is it BG? Oh, it is BG success. Okay, so BG Success and Blue Dark together will make it. Oh, that's funny. Like, sometimes I don't know everything. But this is why I keep doing it. What? Okay, someone's not right. Do I have CSS on this page? No, that's not right. What is going on? How is that different? It's the exact same settings. What? Double width, show borders, blue dark. That is a mystery to me. Do I have CSS here? That's always a thing. I don't. What is this? Okay, so I'm just gonna make a note of it and move on. But module 7, checklist, different color. I should probably go back and check to make sure they're all the same color. They all match. See, that's blue dark here. Did I not actually apply the BG Success thing? Check your progress. That's getting wrong. Appearance. BG Success. Module 7 checklist, Module 6 checklist, appearance, level. It's the exact same code. Why is this colored differently? And now I'm pulling up the code for that checklist itself because I'm so confused. I mean, we're in the same site too. Okay, so I'm using the inspector, so what I did there to get here is I think I right-clicked and said open up inspector or something. This lets you see the code for any like given element on a page. So I'm just pulling up this checklist. Color. Var success banner. I'm just comparing it to this side. Check this out. I'm not gonna be able to figure it out right now, but I'm like confused by it, so. Inherited from div checklist BG Success. Color, background color. Fair Success color. It's being overridden by something over here. Inherited from div checklist div BG Success. I do not know. Alright, we're going to leave that for now. We're going to do then voices. We're going to move this over. I'm going to pull up a different module that had that same thing in it. I'm going to stop streaming soon because my throat's getting so raw. I'm reading the format, the fun stuff now, but I think I do. My throat's really getting raw. Okay, voices from the field. Watch something, something, something with AYA seminar revisions. What is this?
Let's see, you're recording. So do you want to,
Between Shayna.
you want to ask AYA, and that allowed us to really, it seems like,
Okay. We're going to add this down underneath the picture. Pictures can be a little bit finicky in terms of getting like a new spot to start typing. So because especially the picture's big, like how do I get my cursor down here? Oh, hey, it worked. Okay, so that was not as hard. Sometimes it can be a little bit funky to do that. So sometimes I have to go in the source and type BR/ essentially, and that will do the trick, but looks like I was fine here. And I've got the code pulled up over on the other Isidore for the exact heading that I used last time, so I'm going to grab voices from the field, and go to source here and paste. And click out source, and now I've got a thing here. Watch video interview with, I don't know if it's Dr. Kathy Sweeney. Start here. We're gonna pull up her name, see if we can pull that out. Dr. Kathy Sweeney, S-T-T-T. She's not here. So you Dayton, Kathy Sweeney. Sweeney. Oh boy. I love it when I Google the name and I get 241 pages of everyone at UD. That is not what I wanted. Did I not spell her name right? Maybe she might not be here anymore. With former AYA student Shayna Roth. Oops. Now, where's that video at? I don't think I have access to seminar revisions. This is what's the most annoying thing for me as an administrator, is I think I technically have access through the WarpWire interface here to every single WarpWire library, but because I do have access to every single WarpWire library, it can be hard to find everything. So I'm pulling up my media libraries and I'm searching AYA. I don't like the title AYA Seminar Revisions. I don't think I can change the title. But videos from the field. There it is. 4 minutes again. Okay, cool. While I'm at it, I don't like the title of the title's going to display on the video. You can change that if you want, but sometimes it's nice, especially as an administrator, like when I'm going through updating sites, I like to see where the video is coming from. Like just now, I was able to find that video so fast because I knew exactly which library it's coming from, which you can back into, but that's hard. I also want to change the title of this. I don't want to say 21 Spring Elf Macintosh on the title. That's so sloppy. But I really want the library to have the cleaner title. So I'm going to go here and change it to be AYA Seminar. And then I'm going to also do a little trick here and do the same thing for, let's see, Elf. We're going to change this WarpWire library as well to be AYA. Although she put that in her 21 Spring. 21 Spring. No. I might not have that site saved for myself anymore. So we'll do Elf again here. So you're seeing some administrator set of things. 21 Elf Spring. The best yet to come. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, I'll have to come back and do that sometime else. I mean, my brain's not working enough for this. Okay, well, I'm just gonna come back to that some other time. We'll just save this for now. So we should have a video here. That looks much nicer. See, it says 21 Spring Elf Macintosh. I think it's this library. I think it's just called, I don't know, AYA Seminar. Okay, now I want to just refresh this page, see if that change I just did would reflect right away. Because if it is, then it's just a weird thing that happened. Okay, it didn't work. Okay, but we can delete this now. This no longer needs to be there. I think I'm going to stop. I think I'm going to stop now because I think that all of this stuff is going to be a lot more of me thinking and less of me formatting. So I guess I'm just going to stop. But good progress. We have 3 modules left to go. And then we just have a little bit of stuff to take care of. Oh no. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop streaming so that I can drink some tea and focus my thoughts more as I go through and edit all this content. But hopefully this was a good time for everybody involved, for the 2 people that showed up, and probably a couple others that popped in, I don't know. And thanks for the fun stream. See you next time.